Aging is not decay, it is transformation. To perceive aging as decay is to misunderstand the deeper rhythm of life. Decay implies waste, loss, and deterioration, but transformation suggests evolution, refinement, and deepening. This difference is not just in the words, but in the vision with which we observe our own lives. In nature, we do not mourn the falling of autumn leaves. We watch them descend in silence, and something within us becomes still. The tree is not dying. It is entering a new phase, drawing its energy inward, deepening its roots, preparing for the stillness of winter and the rebirth of spring. We accept this cycle in the forest, in the mountains, in the rivers, yet we resist it in ourselves. When we are young, we are like rivers, fast, loud, constantly moving. We rush forward, hungry to carve paths through the world. There is beauty in that. But with age, we become more like the ocean, vast, still powerful in a quiet way. Our strength no longer needs to shout, it simply is. This is not decay, it is mastery. Aging is the process through which the outer layers fall away so the essence within can be revealed. The body may become slower, but it is not weaker, it is wiser. It learns what matters. It lets go of unnecessary tension. Where we once reacted quickly, we now pause. In that pause lives clarity. In that stillness, truth arises. Wrinkles are not marks of deterioration. They are the script of time written softly across the skin, each line a memory, a lesson, a moment survived. They are not signs that life has left us. They are proof that life has passed through us. We must also see how transformation in aging is not only physical but spiritual. When the body no longer distracts us with its energy, its hunger, its impulses, what is left? What remains is the mind, the spirit, the awareness that has witnessed every stage of our journey. In youth, the mind is like a crowded room. In age, it can become a temple, quiet, spacious, sacred, not by accident, but by intention. The world often teaches us to chase youth, to preserve appearances, to fear the signs of age. But these fears are rooted in misunderstanding. Aging does not rob us of value, it reveals it. The fruit does not ripen in a day, the mountain does not rise overnight. The moon takes its time to become full. Likewise, our true self is revealed over years, through challenge, through love, through loss, through endurance. The transformation of aging is like the slow, steady unfolding of a lotus. It does not shout for attention, but those who are still enough to notice will see its beauty. When we accept this process, we stop fighting against time. We begin to walk with it step by step, breath by breath, and in doing so, we come closer to the center of our being. The body slows so the mind may deepen. This is not a punishment of age, but a gift that comes wrapped in unfamiliar form. In youth, the body moves with urgency. Muscles are quick to respond, energy is abundant, and the world invites action. We run, we chase, we leap into experience. The senses pull us outward to sights, sounds, tastes, and motion. In this outward pull, the mind is often restless, consumed by reaction, caught in the web of doing. But as time passes, the pace begins to shift. Movements become more deliberate. What once took seconds may take minutes. Tasks that were done without thought now require attention. The body, once a vessel of constant motion, now asks for patience. At first, this slowing feels like limitation, but limitation is often the beginning of awareness. When we can no longer rely on speed, we must turn inward to find depth. The slowing of the body creates space. In that space, the mind is no longer just an instrument of thought. It becomes a mirror. It reflects, it observes, it listens, no longer driven by the urgency to act. It begins to ask different questions. Who am I beneath this body? What remains when movement stops? We hear the breath, we feel the ground, we sense the passing clouds of thought and emotion. We stop struggling to hold things together and allow them to unfold. In this openness, we become more present, more real. We no longer try to force life into a shape we prefer. We allow it to shape us instead, to polish the rough edges, to teach humility, to reveal truth hidden beneath expectation. Even fear changes when we stop resisting it. It may still arise, but we no longer run. We watch it come, we watch it go. We see that we are not the fear, we are the space in which it appears, and in this seeing, suffering begins to dissolve, return to the breath. It is the anchor of presence. In a world that constantly pulls the mind into the future and drags it back into the past, the breath is the one thread that always leads us home. It is the first thing we receive when we enter this life and the last thing we release when we leave. Between those two moments, it remains steady, quiet, and constant, a companion that never abandons us. The breath does not belong to the mind. It does not operate on opinion, memory, or desire. It simply is. No matter what thoughts arise, no matter how chaotic the surroundings may be, the breath continues, rising, falling, arriving, departing. It does not hurry. It does not judge. It simply returns to itself again and again. In this way, it becomes a teacher. To return to the breath is to step out of the mind's endless dialogue. It is to come back to what is immediate, what is undeniable. The breath is not yesterday. The breath is not tomorrow. It is always now. And in that now there is peace. Not because life has become easier, but because attention has become simpler. In every inhale, there is an invitation. Come back. In every exhale, a reminder. Let go. This rhythm is not just physiological. It is symbolic. We draw in what we need. We release what we do not. This cycle teaches us balance, patience, and surrender. It requires no belief, no philosophy. It only requires awareness. As the body ages, the breath becomes more noticeable. Perhaps it slows, perhaps it deepens. But in that slowing, it reveals its subtle power. We begin to feel its texture, the coolness of the inhale, the warmth of the exhale. We notice how emotion changes its pace. Anger quickens it, fear shortens it, grief weighs it down, and calm steadies it like the ocean at dawn. To sit with the breath is to sit with life itself. Not the idea of life, but the felt experience of it. Breath after breath, moment after moment, without need to go anywhere or achieve anything. This is not escape, it is arrival. It is the rediscovery of what has always been here, but often goes unnoticed. In times of confusion, return to the breath. In times of loss, return to the breath. In moments of joy, in moments of silence, in the ordinary and the sacred, return. The breath does not resist what is happening. It does not argue with change, it flows with it, dances with it, yields to it. In doing so, it teaches us how to live with presence. Presence is not a grand achievement. It is the simplicity of being with what is. The breath leads us there, not by force, but by rhythm. It does not ask us to change ourselves, it asks us to notice, to feel the body as it breathes, to observe the rising and falling not with effort but with openness, to come out of the head and into the body, out of thought and into awareness, out of distraction and into stillness. And each time the mind wanders, as it will, the breath is already waiting, already here, already guiding us back. True strength lies in serenity, not in the ability to dominate or overpower, but in the capacity to remain undisturbed. The world often teaches that strength is loud, that it flexes, that it conquers, that it pushes forward with force. But that is only one kind of strength, and often it is unstable. It requires constant effort to maintain, constant noise to be seen, constant resistance to prove itself. When silence comes, that kind of strength dissolves. Serenity is not the absence of struggle, it is the refusal to be defined by it. It is the ability to stand still in the middle of chaos, to remain grounded when all things around you shift. A serene person does not deny emotion or difficulty. They face it with clarity. They have stopped reacting blindly. They have started observing deeply. This kind of strength is not forged in easy moments. It is born when life offers discomfort, uncertainty, or loss, and something within chooses not to collapse. Serenity is not weakness. It is control without tension, power without aggression. It is the mountain that does not move in the wind, the ocean that absorbs the storm without losing its depth. In youth, strength is often expressed outwardly through speed, resistance, reaction. In age, as the body begins to slow, a deeper strength can emerge, one that no longer depends on force. It lives in the eyes, in the breath, in the posture of quiet acceptance. It is the kind of strength that comes from having nothing to prove and nothing to defend. It is strength that knows itself. Serenity does not mean withdrawal. It does not mean detachment from life. On the contrary, it means being so fully connected to the present moment that nothing can pull you away from it. It is the ability to meet life as it is, not as you wish it to be. It is a softness that does not break, a calm that does not fear the storm. This strength grows slowly. It grows in the space between reaction and response. It grows in the moments when the impulse to fight arises, and instead you choose to breathe. It grows each time you witness difficulty without becoming it. It deepens when you stop needing to be right, when you no longer seek to control the uncontrollable, when you let life be as it is and remain at peace within yourself. To be serene is not to escape the world, but to meet it without losing yourself. It is the strength to listen without defending, to act without anger, to stand without needing to push. It is a quiet confidence rooted not in ego, but in awareness. Awareness of the passing nature of all things. Awareness of the inner stillness that does not change, no matter how loudly the world moves. Awareness of the truth that peace is not found by changing everything around you, but by discovering what is unshaken within you and resting there, even while everything else continues to move. You are not the body, you are the awareness behind it. The body is a temporary vessel, a form that changes with time. It is born, it grows, it matures, and eventually it fades, it aches, it heals, it weakens, it adapts. These changes are inevitable, but they are not you, they are the experience, not the experiencer. The body allows you to move through the world. It feels pain, it enjoys pleasure, it reacts to heat and cold, hunger and satisfaction. But who is it that notices all these things? Who is it that says, my back hurts or I feel tired? There is something behind the sensations, something that is watching, something that is always present, even as the body transforms. That something is awareness. It does not age, it does not break, it does not disappear when the body is unwell. It was there when you were a child, there when you became an adult, and it will remain unchanged while everything else shifts. Awareness is not located in the bones, in the muscles, or in the skin. It is the silent observer, calm, open, and clear. When you begin to identify with this awareness rather than the body, a great freedom arises. You can care for the body without becoming trapped by its condition. You can experience pain without becoming the pain. You can witness aging without believing that you are disappearing, but you are disappearing. The body will one day return to the earth, but the awareness that has known it, that has watched it breathe, stumble, and dance, is not bound by time or form. To rest in that awareness is to step outside the constant change and remember the stillness that has always been watching, always been waiting, always been quietly awake.